So I have a pretty old Game Boy Micro that's kind of fallen apart here and there. And the charge port doesn't work on it too good. So today, let's do a mod. Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. Today we are taking a look at our fancy dancy Game Boy Micro. Like I said, the charge port doesn't really work. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It really depends. Right now we have Pokemon Red from Japan playing on there. But, this thing has been through the ringer. I've had this, since I was in high school, I think. Someone at my school actually traded me for it for my Game Boy Advanced SP, and I was like, yeah, sure, this is pretty neat. And here we are many years later, and I think I made the right deal. Game Boy Advance SPs are cool. These are cooler, in my opinion. It's just so tiny, it's pocketable, and I think besides the small screen, it is one of the best ways to play Game Boy Advance. So, like I said, mine is now eventually dying. I think it got some water in there at some point, as sometimes when I plug it in, sometimes it will charge it, sometimes it won't. And it just really seems to come down to that charge. So I was at Retro Repair Resale not too long ago, and Dakota there handed me this and said it's a pretty easy mod. Basically, you just put this in its spot and put it in place, and you're all set. You're good to go. So figured let's go ahead and do that. But before we get too crazy and taking this apart and maybe not putting it back together, a word from today's sponsor, PCB Way. Guys, you've heard me mention it many times before, but PCB Way is your one-stop shop for PCB prototyping. Here we have a network adapter that plugs into the bottom of the GameCube. If we pair it along with this guy right here, like so. I might have that backwards, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just doing quick references right now, guys. But, now we have a network adapter for our Nintendo GameCube, and we don't have to pay the broadband adapter. PCB Way made this possible with their website, where they have project sharing. They also do CNC molding, machining, and assembly if needed. So our goal here is to take that network adapter and maybe check out some Phantasy Star Online and see if we can get online in 2025 with our Nintendo GameCube. So stay tuned if that's what you're interested in. PCB Way, thank you for sponsoring today's video. Really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll see how that goes. Alright, sorry for the delay. I couldn't find my tool set, but now that we have it, and I understand it's not the best organization. Looks like we got a couple loose ones here, and we're missing couple bits, but we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and remove our Pokemon Red. Let's go and set that off to the side. And here's our charge port. And it looks like we have a ton of different screws. We have one Phillips here, and then we have a ton of tri-wing screws. There we go. That's a little bit more in focus. Kind of surrounding it. And I'm not sure if there's any under the faceplate. I would imagine probably, because Nintendo likes to hide screws in weird areas. Let's see, what do we got underneath? No, looks like we're okay. Let's go ahead. We'll start with this Phillips guy. We'll see what we can get off with that. See if it kind of comes apart at that point or not. I doubt it, but always start small and go big as you go. So good. Right now I'm trying a 0. Which I can't tell if that is spinning or not. We're just gonna have to lock in focus. Here's the deal: is I don't really know how this is put together, so I don't. Oh, there we go. So it slides out, but I didn't apply too much pressure. I'm gonna open that. It is nice that the battery is, replaceable should we need it. There we go. For those that are curious, looks like it's at 3.8, 460 milliamp hour. Just very carefully start removing these guys. I think I am going to have to drop down. Should be my 00 here. That's a tri-wing. Very careful with these tries. I'm hoping I don't have to disassemble too much. I'm hoping it's just maybe a few screws here and there, and just to get the case open, and then we can get this mod done. But again, I actually have never seen a Game Boy Micro teardown. I don't know what it looks like inside. I don't know how to tear it down. So we're learning together, guys. We're learning together, and that is horribly out of focus. Okay. When you do these kind of mods, you just want to take your time. Don't rush it. Make sure to drop every little button and screen that you possibly can. I think the next thing that has to happen is we have to remove this screw, and that screw. This is a 000. I think it might be too small, but we'll try it. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's just right. I always recommend maybe do your research before you do a teardown. Know what you're getting into beforehand. It just makes it easier. Should something go wrong, there we go. So yeah, like I said, I think we had like water damage or something happen, because it does have a substance on there. Alright. And the last few screws that are holding this PCB into place are these three here. Can't tell if this one is going all the way through or if that's just the shielding. Let's go ahead and remove these three. Again, we have our 000 Phillips. Yeah, that's definitely held in. Okay. This guy too. So it's quite an interesting PCB board. Where actually, the left side is not really attached whatsoever. Only thing holding it is a ribbon, and the plastic casing around it. So that's quite interesting. I did not expect to see that upon opening this. But here is our proprietary port. Just trying to see how this is going to line up. Sorry, I know I'm looking at that off camera. I'm trying to see How exactly it connects to maybe these two? Huh. You know, I'm gonna have to actually take this into Dakota and ask him. I don't really know which one it goes to. I know we got to get this off, and this goes in its place, but I don't, unless it goes on this side, which that makes sense to me, but I don't know if that's accurate or inaccurate. So we're gonna have to do a follow-up on this, guys. We have the recording up to this point, and we're just gonna continue from there whenever we get the answers here. So